Welcome back to the news at 10. More on politics. Ndudi Elumelu has been declared winner of the People's Democratic Party primary election of the Anyocha Oshimile federal constituency. He was announced winner after an election that turned rowdy and was subsequently relocated to the office of the Commissioner of Police in Delta State. One of the 4 contestants who took part in the exercise is contesting the results. Walking through these gates of the cenotaph in Asaba, the Delta State capital, does not seem to make an easy task for these delegates of the People's Democratic Party in Anyocha Oshimile federal constituency, who are here to elect the party flag bearer for the House of Representatives election in 2019. Once the accreditation hurdle is scaled, the next task is voting for their preferred candidate among the 4 gunning for it. Voting concluded, counting begins.
Ndudi Elumelu Oyemechi Emrakpo.
The process seems peaceful until it's time to count the number of votes gotten by the last of the 4 contestants. One of the contestants raises an objection to the process. All plea for calm is turned down as the atmosphere turns rowdy. Electoral materials are moved to the office of the Commissioner of Police, where the counting continues.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Based on the things they did with my vote, because if I didn't come down to that voting point, I wouldn't have known that those 17 votes they removed, that there was no problem with it. And what my demand was simple. I wasn't armed. I wasn't disrupting in any way. I said, if you have to count into these votes, let me see. Because you were marking the things you were removing from my own, made it suspicious.
After all said and done, a winner is announced.
I feel excited, I feel awesome that the people of Anyocha Oshimile federal constituency actually voted and they find me worthy of representing once again this federal constituency. And for me, there's no victor, no vanquish. All I ask from all my co-aspirants is for all to join hands together to rebuild and refocus our federal constituency.
With his announcement as winner, Ndudi Elumelu will now fly the party's flag during the National Assembly election on Saturday, February 16, 2019. Still talking politics, President Muhammadu Buhari says he will soon name a presidential campaign council to lead the All Progressives Congress to victory in the February 19 general elections. The president in a statement says he is aware of the yearning of Nigerians to see the formation of a full presidential campaign council towards the APC's victory in the presidential elections, and that the council will be formed after the party's convention on Saturday. The statement adds that the council will drive the agenda of the APC at the polls. The president has also pledged that the federal government will do everything it will take to rescue Leah Shariq, the remaining Dapchi schoolgirl from Boko Haram captivity. According to a press release by the presidency, President Buhari spoke with Leah's mother, Mrs. Rebecca Shariq, and assured the family that no stone will be left unturned to secure the safe release of their daughter. In the president's words, I convey my emotion, the strong commitment of my administration, and the solidarity of all Nigerians to you and your family, as we will do our best to bring your daughter home in peace and safety, the president told her. The statement also says the president also assured the mother that his heart was with her family, just like millions of Nigerians who continue to pray for the safe return of Leah. Leah Shariq was kidnapped by Boko Haram terrorists from Dapchi Secondary School alongside 110 other girls earlier this year on February 19. A former director for Center for Democracy and Development, Professor Jibrin Ibrahim, believes Nigeria can construct a national identity if things are done to favor majority of the citizens. Speaking on the channel's television program, The Core, he said the question of a national identity is coming up because the country has not used its resources to uplift the standard of living of many Nigerians.
we have a stress in terms of our national identity because of this deficit, that we have not used our resources to uplift the standard of living of our people, which would have led them to have more love for that country that's our own. National identity is built, is constructed, is developed, and the way you construct and build it is to do things that favor the majority of the people. And that's the sign for them that, yes, this entity called the Nigerian state has done things for me. It has created opportunities. It has provided health facilities. It has created modes of employment that will take care of my children and all that. It is those practical signs of advantages that come to you through your state, through your nation, that increases your love, your commitment, and your identity with them.
To the judiciary now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has arraigned the Deputy Chief of Staff to the Senate President, Gbenga Makanjuola, and 2 others for alleged 3.5 billion naira fraud. Although Makanjuola has pleaded not guilty to the charges, the trial judge, Justice Babs Kwewumi of the Federal High Court, Lagos, however, ordered their remand in prison until the trial date is fixed. Counsel to the accused, however, appealed to the court to consider the bail application already before the court. After listening to the submissions of parties in the matter, Justice Kwewumi adjourned till October 9th for ruling on the bail applications. The United Nations Population Fund has donated over 5,700 relief items to women and girls who were affected by flood in some states across the country. The acting UNFPA country representative, Dr. Eugene Konguni, handed over the items to the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Sage Ehanire, in Abuja on behalf of the federal government. The items, which were specifically meant for pregnant women and lactating mothers, include dignity kits, sleeping mats and temporary locations, traditional wrappers for women and children, among other items. UNFPA is also assisting the Ministry of Health to conduct a rapid assessment, which enables the government to identify the health needs of those affected by the flood. In his response, the Health Minister promised that the items will be distributed to the affected areas immediately.
The federal government and the people of Nigeria are grateful for this show of solidarity from the UNFPA, United Nations Population Fund. It goes a long way to help us in responding to the victims of flooding that has ravaged us during this rainy season. Flooding is something that we experience most years. This year's zone has been particularly intense and has caused displacement and loss of residents for some citizens of our country, particularly those along the major rivers and their tributaries. So the government has responded very quickly. The Ministry of Health is one of those working very closely with NEMA and other agencies to see what we can do to make sure that Nigerians do not suffer.
Business News is next. Here's Anne Wamudu.
You First. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Amarachi. We begin business news tonight with the World Bank cutting its 2018 growth forecast for sub-Saharan Africa to 2.7%, and that's down 0.4% from the earlier projection of 3.1% it was in the month of April. In its latest report of the state of African economies, it has attributed the slower pace of growth to the sluggish expansion in the region's 3 largest economies, and that's Nigeria, Angola, and South Africa. In the meantime, the World Bank has lowered its estimate for Nigeria's growth this year to 1.9%. It has cut its projection for South African GDP expansion from 1.4% to 1%. The Central Bank of Nigeria is reassuring owners of small and medium enterprises of its support. The CBN spokesman, Isaac Okorafor, challenged operators to take advantage of inventions in the sector to boost their businesses, create jobs, and contribute to the growth of the nation's economy. The United Kingdom's services sector purchasing managers index is coming at 53.9 reading for the month of September, suggesting sustained growth in the economy. A new report this week shows UK's new orders growth eased slightly since the month of August, reflecting high political uncertainty. But the business confidence index improved slightly last month, with some companies expecting a boost in client demand. The UK posted a composite index reading of 54.1 in the month of September, as against 54.2 it posted in the month of August, barely beating a forecast of 53.9 reading. And in Africa, Zimbabwe's cabinet has agreed to cut government jobs as part of its program to stabilize the country's economy after almost 2 decades of mismanagement under former President Robert Mugabe. The measure will help Finance Minister Mutulu Kumbe reduce a state wage bill, which, according to the International Monetary Fund, consumes more than 90% of government revenue. Zimbabwe's Finance Minister Nkube is implementing a series of reforms aimed at tackling corruption and strengthening balance of payments and fiscal responsibility. Let's talk about Nigeria's equities market. It has dropped further by 94 billion naira following heavy sell pressure by short-term investors. Let's hear more from Leah Shariq.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Negative sentiment enters a second session in the new month at the Nigerian Stock Exchange as more profit-taking hit 3 major sectors of the market. The seller switch led to a 0.79% drop in the all-share index, had the most significant impact on the industrial goods sector, following the 2.39% decline in the shares price of Dangote Cement. Despite a slightly positive margin on the price chart, 14 losers led by Niger Insurance had the upper hand against a pack of 15 gainers led by Diamond Bank. Overall volume turnover of shares traded for the day lowered by 47.86 million units to 136.73 million shares in 2,801 transactions, with the shares of FCMB, UBA and Fidelity Bank as top 3 most actively patronized stocks. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. Thanks for watching. I'm Leah Shariq.
Thank you, Teniola. Well, as for major global stock markets, they have ended the midweek session slightly mixed. Investors are still grappling with rising interest rates after the release of strong U.S. economic data. Let's see how all of them finished today. And that's business news for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. It's back to you, Marachi.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, Aimba's quest to become first Nigerian club side to win CAF Confederation Cup suffers huge setback after losing to Morocco's Raja Casablanca in first leg semi-final in Aba. That will be on Sports News. Stay with us.